Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Alicia Blaine. I'm a future registered dietitian who's passionate about all things health and wellness and getting evidence-based nutrition education to you right through your screen. As a disclaimer, I want to state that the topics that we discuss today are for educational and entertainment purposes only, and they should not be used as a replacement for medical advice. Always remember to talk to your doctor or registered dietitian before making any diet changes. So without further ado, let's get into the video. In recent years, placentophagy, or the act of consuming all or part of the placenta following the delivery of a child, has become increasingly popular. Celebrities like Kim and Kourtney Kardashian have discussed their experiences with placentophagy and even claimed that the consumption of their placentas in the weeks following birth led to increased milk supply, prevented postpartum depression, regulated hormones, and even increased their energy levels. So what about the placenta could do so much magic for a new mom? Placentophagy advocates educate about the consumption of the placenta, highlighting its hormonal, vitamin, and mineral content, including iron, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin B6, B12, estrogen, and progesterone, to name a few. And these advocates claim that by consuming the placenta either raw, cooked, blended, or encapsulated can benefit the mother immensely due to its nutritional content. And yes, you heard that correctly. Raw, cooked, blended, or encapsulated.
Oh my God, ew, David!
So we can all probably agree that this practice isn't the most appetizing, but what does the science have to say about placentophagy? Today, we're going to tackle one of the major claims made by placentophagy advocates. Consuming the maternal postpartum placenta decreases the risk of developing postpartum depression, or PPD, by increasing the mother's iron status. In a case control study conducted by the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition that looked at the association of depression and iron levels in female students, researchers found that participants with lower iron levels were at a higher risk for the development of depression than those participants who had higher iron levels. In another study published by the Journal of Nutrition, examiners looked at the effects of iron deficiency on postpartum emotions and cognition, and these researchers actually found that there was a strong association between low iron levels and depression, stress, and cognitive function. Now, these studies show that there is a relationship between the mother's iron status and risk for depression. So if increasing iron levels decreases the risk for depression, and the human placenta contains high amounts of iron, then it's easy to assume that consuming the placenta can raise iron status high enough to decrease mom's risk for PPD. But does the literature support the claim that consuming your placenta can raise iron status enough to decrease the risk of PPD? And is it even safe to consume your placenta? Let's take a look. In a recent in vitro study, researchers looked at the possible effects that dehydrating and steaming the placenta could have on hormones, minerals, and bacteria in the placenta. They tested 9 human placentas by either steaming or dehydrating them, and then evaluated the content of hormones, trace minerals, and bacteria that remained. They found that these methods of preparing the placentas significantly decreased the hormonal concentrations compared to the raw placenta. So this study was small, and it's difficult to conclude that heating the placenta destroys all hormones, bacteria, and nutrients, but it was a good start for examining the effects of heating and dehydrating the placenta for ingestion. Now, the Journal of Midwifery and Women's Health published a study in 2017 that compared the iron status of mothers who ingested their encapsulated placenta after birth to the iron status of mothers who ingested an encapsulated beef placebo. They found that both groups had increased iron levels, but there was no significant difference in iron status between the placenta and the placebo group. Additionally, although iron levels increased in the placenta group, iron levels met only about 24% of the recommended iron level for lactating women. So the researchers concluded that consuming the placenta capsules, it didn't significantly improve or impair iron status for postnatal women. And furthermore, they suggested that women who decide to ingest their placenta will most likely need to supplement with an additional iron source anyways to meet their dietary needs. So from these studies, it's safe to say that consuming your placenta is not a sufficient replacement for iron supplements, and it doesn't significantly increase your iron levels, and so therefore it wouldn't play a huge role in decreasing your risk for the development of PPD. Lastly, I'd like to conclude on what we know about the safety of ingesting dehydrated and steamed placenta capsules. The most common method of placenta ingestion is through an encapsulated form. The mother would send her placenta to a company that dehydrates or steams the placenta and puts it into capsules for daily ingestion. But over recent years, scientists have been looking into the safety of this method, and studies show that it may not be the best idea for you and your baby. In 2016, a case was reported to the CDC that showed an infant with late-onset Group B strep, or GBS, following the mother's ingestion of encapsulated placenta. GBS can be passed from mom to baby, and it causes symptoms like coughing, congestion, drowsiness, seizures, decreased appetite, and in severe cases, it may even lead to sepsis or meningitis. In the case reported to the CDC, the infant was experiencing respiratory distress following a healthy and uncomplicated pregnancy. The child was admitted to 2 hospitals within a month and was treated for a test-confirmed diagnosis of GBS for a total of 31 days. The mom of the child had been ingesting her encapsulated placenta since giving birth, and the placenta capsules were tested for GBS, and the doctors confirmed after testing that the child's GBS was attributable to consumption of GBS-infected placental tissue. So when considering if ingesting your placenta is the best option for you and your child, it's important to note that there are no standards that exist for processing the placenta for consumption, and that this practice is not a practice that's recommended by the CDC. So overall, there are a lot of health claims related to placentophagy, but there's just not enough evidence supporting these major claims. So you're likely better off putting down the placenta and talking to your doctor and dietitian about clinically proven ways to improve your mood, milk supply, and energy levels during the postpartum period. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and hit that little bell down there so you don't miss out on more diet debunking videos like this one. I'll see you next time.